Back in 1956, when Paddington's story begins, my father was a 30-year-old television cameraman working for the BBC. And on Christmas Eve that year, he was doing some last-minute Christmas shopping when he happened upon a small bear sitting all alone on a shelf at Selfridges in London's Oxford Street. And being the sort of man my father was, he couldn't possibly leave this poor bear sitting all alone over Christmas. And so he bought him and he took him home and he gave him to my mother as a last-minute Christmas present. Now, at the time, my parents were living in a tiny bedsit in Notting Hill, not too far from Paddington Station. And every time my father passed through the station, he thought that he rather liked the name Paddington. He thought it would make a very good name for a character in a story. So in early 1957, he sat down one day to do some writing, and he had a blank piece of paper, and he had absolutely no idea in his mind what he was going to write. And he glanced up, and he saw the bear sitting on the mantelpiece, and he remembered the name Paddington, and he thought it suited the bear rather well. So he started to write, and these are the words he wrote. Mr. and Mrs. Brown first met Paddington on a railway platform. In fact, that's how he came to have such an unusual name for a bear, for Paddington was the name of the station. Well, the words kept flowing, he kept writing. He gave Paddington a hat and a duffel coat, much like the ones he wore himself at the time. Paddington's label and suitcase were inspired by memories of evacuees during the Second World War. And Paddington's love of marmalade came from the fact that my father knew bears like sweet things, and he personally loved marmalade. After about 10 days, and without actually setting out to do so, he discovered that he'd written an entire novel-length children's book. And so it was on the 13th of October, 1958, A Bear Called Paddington was published, and Paddington was introduced to the world.